Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Tobago. Welcome Trinidad and Tobago. I want to say a warm welcome to the media present. Myself, I am the chairman of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, Sean Ned, and I'm joined with the political leader, Mr. Watson Duke. And we're here to continue our conversation in this place known as Tobago. And our topic today is surrounding the recently concluded carnival. And that is between the 27th and the 29th, with several events that occurred prior to that. And we wish to give our observations and comments on what we've observed. Now, in general, I'd like to start off with a compliment, right? So, in the space of Scarborough, what we saw was a familiar scene from those who remember in the 80s and perhaps early 90s, where the last time we saw Carnival in Tobago was around that time. So it was a very refreshing scene to have a whole bunch of persons from Juve and other parts of the festivities present. All right, so this is a good thing. It is the right direction. However, we have other observations to share that go along with what has occurred over the last couple weeks. So one thing I would just speak about is the advertising of the carnival. It was very confusing to see most of the advertising occurring within about 3 days of the carnival. We're trying to understand what was the goal of such a move, right? It looks more like a decoration for carnival and less like an advertising for carnival. So now we have to start asking ourselves some questions, right? A lot of people would say that the success of the carnival is based on how many people you saw, right? And what was happening is we had the sense that it was more about vibes and the promoters gaining money, right? And vendors. Is that exactly what we want from a carnival? Is that the purpose of a carnival, right? So we have to move into some more mature conversations on this topic. Right. So the main purpose of this carnival, this Tobago carnival, is supposed to surround the economic development of Tobago. That's the point. We have a what do you call a tourism product where in the end Tobago is supposed to see money coming into it. How can that occur? You have to look at your businesses and you have to look at the THA in itself. So the question to THA is did THA raise funds from this Tobago Carnival? And if so, how so? Right? We already have a scathing report from the last time we had the Tobago Carnival. Is this carnival better? Did we move the bar forward in terms of the way in which we are pursuing this sort of action known as Tobago Carnival? Is there a value to the Tobago Carnival apart from my feelings of nostalgia and seeing persons enjoying themselves in the streets? That is good. That is fun. Tobago is a fun place. But part of this whole discussion is raising funds for Tobago. In a word, revenue generation, right? So what we see going forward in the media, constructive criticism. Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters would have made some comments, and we see a backlash, right, against the Guardian, for example, and against himself. So what does that actually mean, right? Mr. Peters is saying that there are certain improvements that can be made to the carnival in Tobago to improve it. How should we accept these comments? Should we take it as hush your mouth, don't comment anything, this is we thing? Or should we take this as a way in which to improve ourselves so that the next time we can do better, if that is the case? So what I look forward from the THA and members running this carnival is a sort of post-mortem right? What did we gain from this carnival? I wish the media takes this up with the members, of course, on that side. So I'd like to remind persons of the direction in which the PDP would have gone. In our mandate, which has been thrust to the side, right, we would have had, I'll just give one example, the proposal of a heritage park, right? Part of the purpose of that would have given us the opportunity to showcase our culture, as well as have, in some ways, the infrastructure needed to actually host a carnival, because currently there is no infrastructure available in Tobago to host a carnival. We're basically running carnival in the streets. The only thing available, as far as I see, is the cultural complex. And after that, somebody should tell me what we have. All right. So in this case, this is enough. I want everybody to sort of take a step back and look at the product. There is value in it, but we as a PDP remain essentially as the only adults in the room. We're asking the real questions. What is the point of this carnival? What did we gain from this carnival? What is the strategic plan for Tobago and for tourism in this space? So with that, I like to shift over to our political leader, but here we are in this space and we want to see better for Tobago. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Friends, media people, it pains my heart when the Tobago Carnival could become a thing that is highly questioned by the National Carnival Commission, and even the daily newspapers could paint that Tobago Carnival in a negative light. You could only let someone down if there were high expectations. And you could only be asked to do more if there were room for you to do more. So I will say to my colleagues who are occupying office that now is not the time for you to be arguing. Now is not the time for you to be thrusting your fists in the face of critical thinkers or persons who will identify areas for us as a people to improve. Criticism is an important part of human development. Not everyone is going to pamper you and powder you and say, good, good, good. If they are looking for human worship, then they should leave the country. Because in Tobago, we do not worship human beings. We worship God and God alone. So don't expect to receive human worship. Great carnival, great, the best on earth. No. People are going to critique and they take the criticism well. Take a page from me. I take my criticism well. But carnival is a thing we have to ask ourselves. Was it a boss carnival or was it a bus carnival? Boss or bus carnival are two words that enter my mind. There are some folks who made it, the people with the guest houses, the hotels, the villas, the Airbnb, who were selling street food. Some of those persons made it. The makeup artists, the hairdressers, the barbers, yeah. Those DJs, they make it. Those with trucks and trailers, they made it. You know, the coconut vendors, they're all stuck up now, as you see outside my window, stuck up business good in town. But the economic impact of Carnival on Scarborough as a whole is still a mystery. Did the regular established stores in Scarborough benefit from Carnival? Was there any plan to cause packers that sell cloth to benefit? Or perhaps Marad Supermarket to sell some plenty liquors? Or any of the supermarkets in in Scarborough, whether it be Penny Savers or Viewport or any of those supermarkets, to really make it big. I recall that some of the biggest losers in Carnival were the daily paid workers. Some of them did not receive their payment for Carnival. I could recall some of them asking me for a passage because it's tough. They came to town hoping to get money on Friday and they got no money. So we cannot talk about spending $12.5 million for Tobago Carnival, and yet the day-to-day recurrent expenditure is being left unattended, so much so that persons were not paid. That to me is unexplainable. It's something that this executive must give a proper account for. All the promises made that persons will be paid by the 27th did not materialize. And on Friday, when you're not paid, you have to humble yourself and pray that you make it through the weekend. We need to ask ourselves, come right inside, I'll break for a while, come in. Yeah. Only the PDP will do that. No one else. We'll break and give you 2 minutes because we are that relevant and we don't lose a beat. All right, so hurry up and set up quickly. But in the interim, let me just go over back some of the points and massage some of the points while you set up. We must measure the economic impact on Carnival in Tobago. We need to ask ourselves seriously, after investing $12.5 million, what were the returns to the man on the street, to the businesses on the street? What were the returns? Was it more important to spend $17.5 million last year, Carnival, $12.5 this year, Carnival, on a street parade, yeah, and not measure it, just say it was good? Or was it better to take that money and pump it into the communities that we have identified, the electoral districts, and give them the 10 million each? It would have been better spent money if you were to put that 30,000 between last year and this year into 3 communities. I could see how the community of Speyside, Charleville, Land Summit, Bloody Bay, Pallitivere, Castara would have benefited from that 10 million last year and that 10 million this year. That community would have progressed. I could see how the community of Cane and Crown Point would have benefited from the $10 million community fund last year and this year. We are taking money and spending money on something that is not measurable. And it bothers me to hear that Tobago only has a room stock of 2,000 rooms. Yeah, that's the room stock, 2,000 rooms officially. And we boast last year of bringing almost 60,000 persons into the island. It's somewhat not right. When you look at the bands that played mass, I wouldn't call them. Had it not been for a few sympathizers from Trinidad who came up with their mass band, Tuesday mass would have been a washout. Because we are more interested in playing a lower level mass, which is the Juve mass, the walk and enjoy yourself kind of mass. That's Tobagonians. Than to engage in expensive mass because we just don't have money for it. The economy just does not support a big carnival. And so we have to rethink the way we plan our carnival in Tobago space. If we're going to have plenty small carnival, then so be it. But the big carnival, we have to now appeal to Trinidad. In the big carnival, we have to appeal to Trinidad. And that's where Gypsy comes in. Like him or hate him or love him or leave him. Without Trinidad, the Tuesday mass is a bus. I looked at it and I was wondering if we were begging people to parade on the streets or what. Because there was a big gap, almost virtually empty, except for a small concentration of people every now and then. That does not speak of persons coming out to enjoy themselves. And for the viewers, they're oftentimes turned off because it's a long wait between this mass and that mass, and it's a turn off. Even the DJs find it boring to play music to nobody because when that group gone, You have to wait a long time. In Trinidad, you have to beg it to come off the stage. First, there are thousands of persons participating. There's a fight to leave the stage. Here, they're begging it to come on the stage. We have to rethink it, and so Trinidad is needed. We have to continue to promote unity between Trinidad and Tobago. There are over 50 countries in the world that keep carnival, over 50. And in the Caribbean, almost all the Caribbean countries keep carnival, even Jamaica keep carnival, Anguilla, Barbados, St. Vincent, Grenada, all of these places keep carnival. What would make our carnival special? What will make it stand out in the Caribbean, apart from Grenada, St. Vincent, and all the others, even Trinidad? What will make it stand out? We must begin to promote our culture. And it would seem to me as if we have lost touch with the culture of Tobagonians. What is our culture? Seriously speaking, what is Tobago culture? The way we cook, the way we speak, the way we socialize, it's a slightly different. And there is no bigger promotion of culture, fashion, and all these things, music, etc., all this culture, than carnival. That's why it's the biggest attraction for almost any single island that keeps carnival. Even Brazil, it's the biggest tourist attraction. Yeah? Miami, it's the biggest tourist attraction because people are coming to see your culture. We must ask ourselves, the tourists who came from Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, what did they see? Did they see our culture? Bikini and beads? That's our culture. Half of your genitals outside, that's our culture. I mean, we have to ask ourselves. And if it is that, do we look as the Africans they show on TV that dressed in this kind of fight wear? What is our culture? I know way back when I was a youth growing up, there was a man by the name of Mr. Colin Brooks, masked man, right? You all might not know him, but my colleague here will know him. He made a feather donkey one time, a donkey out of feather. That's what we're talking about. And back then, there was that type of mask that allows for creativity, using local things without going abroad. And we need to create a kind of traction that allow our mass people, mass designers, to build costumes for the entire year, knowing that this will become one of the greatest shows on earth where people will come to see Tobago culture. We have lost the opportunity. We have squandered it on wine and jam and who looks sexy, who looks strong. And most of the music that was played was the music from Trinidad. So if we hate Trinidad, if what this executive is pushing, a hate for Trinidad, this so-called executive, if they continue to push that hate for Trinidad, if you minus Trinidad from this carnival, what they call carnival, we will be a candle in the wind. Blown out, nothing. Total shame and failure. Because it was the sexy body girl from Trinidad that come up, that get the guys them coming up with their mouth dropping down, watching them because it's a fresh thing. Let's face it. All right? People come to see sexy body girl. The gym buff men and them come out and looking buff up. People come to see. Because that's the kind of carnival that they are displaying. There was no real feather donkey. There was no real creation of Tobago mass. We didn't see that. We didn't see that. Who is the biggest mass man so far as creation? Creating something other than bikini and beads. We're not seeing that. Where is our Peter Minshall that creates a team and runs with it? Yeah? Where's our mass man that really create mass, that promotes the culture? Take away Trinidad from it, the DJ, the promotion, and we have nothing in Tobago here. So again, if we are talking about autonomy in Tobago, there are things we can control. And this carnival should be an opportunity for us to display autonomy. Yeah? It's your carnival now. Nobody's telling you what to do and what not to do. But some of the biggest losers in the carnival would have been the market people. Scarborough market shut down, One of the biggest days It's shut down Saturday. What type of compensation is the THA giving to the market vendors? What type? And the cold storage in the market is at its worst right now. People are using simply ice coolers with ice packing up to store their lettuce, store their pak choy, store their perishable goods, which will suffer from these frozen bites, as the case may be. So we have our market vendors shutting down for a number of days. No compensation. How do we deal with that? They are important as those with the homes. They have family to feed. And more often than not, they are strugglers. So today I'm speaking for the market vendors. They are some of the biggest losers. Also, our taxi men would have suffered a lot too. Yeah? Because they can't come here, they can't come down. It's better to just stay home. It's big Maxi working on them days. And Maxi chartered Maxi. Otherwise, you're taking long to catch car. People home, relaxing. Biggest losers. How do they pay their bills now? When they miss one day, they're short. How they pay their mortgage on their vehicles? We look at our churches within the area. There are several prominent churches down here. In particular, the Seventh-day Adventist Church right there. Well, they couldn't keep anything on Saturday, I guess. On Friday night, they couldn't keep any Friday night worship. How do we compensate them? In what way? You know? I mean, it's tongue and it's part of moving with the tongue. But how do you reach out to people like that lose? How do you reach out to the schools that would have suffered 2 days loss? The Friday loss and the Monday loss, yesterday loss. Yesterday loss, right? Knowing fully well that we fall behind the students in Trinidad where education is concerned. Yeah? And we have the Secretary of Education, you know what? I wouldn't say anything more than that. They are not looking into the fact that our children are important to the lifeblood of Tobago. And we have to protect them not for a day, but for eternity. We're not shut down school earlier in the year because there's National Carnival. So the Monday and Tuesday schools are shut down, Monday and Tuesdays. Tobago then comes up with an additional 2 days to shut down school. But for what economic reason? What economic reason? Friday and Monday shut down. So your children home. Who's looking into that kind of loss? And then jobs. How many person were able to say that I got a work for Carnival and that work was sustainable? Carnival is something that ought to create new opportunities for new businessmen. You will go into something and you recognize it's working, so you stick around longer. I want to propose today a solution. And I'm doing so as a political leader of the PDP. These ideas are not new, but these ideas have been totally declassified and abandoned by my colleagues who now occupy office. And I say that because had they stick to the script and not venture off on their own, they would have been in a better place. Tobago, the construct of Tobago, does not allow for a street carnival. It doesn't allow for a street carnival. The construct of Tobago, it does not allow for a street carnival at all. What we should have in Tobago is the creation of a heritage village. This heritage village is part of our proposal in 2017, 2021, January, and 2021, December. Heritage village is where we will take 20, 40 acres of land and we would develop within that almost like a carnival city, a place where persons could come and play mass. Not only play mass, you could conduct heritage inside there, jazz, yeah, and all the other activities that we engage in from time to time. You see, when you do that, the churches will not be disturbed, yeah? When you do that, you contain the activity in an environment that allows for that. Tobago is a Christian-centric kind of environment. Whether people going to church or not, they're cussing Bible or not, they're drinking rum or not, we have certain values inside of us. Yeah? That's how we grew up. Certain spiritual and moral values we have in us. Whether we adhere to it or not, we have it within us, in Tobago in particular. Yeah? We're kind of principled people, and you have to respect the churches. So avoid that street thing. Let's have a particular location identified for that. Do this to a man sleep in town too. People still live in town. And these are the poor and humble people. That bragadang noise is going to turn people off. Let's identify 20, 40 acres of land and construct a heritage village. That heritage village should work throughout the entire year. And so therefore, every single month is a big event in that heritage village. So it is therefore sustainable. In the heritage village, you will have small booths on the outside where persons who want to sell street food could come and sell. You don't have to come and be on the road with an umbrella. When rain comes down, you pack up and run, your foot getting wet. You don't have to. That is not a glorious scene to watch. Trying to make a dollar meet. You will allow that heritage village to flow continuously. Yeah? And so, I'm saying things like the Tobago Jazz should be part of our heritage village. Yeah? Our heritage festival, for example. Every single month we could do something. Every single month there could be a display of some aspect of our heritage festival in the community. That will bring people constantly to Tobago. We spoke also of creating a film, theater, fashion, and music academy in Tobago. That was supposed to be an academy. It's a PDP brand. A PDP. Yeah? When you do that, then you are creating a new level of artisan. People who have the art. When people are trained, they will display more when it comes to carnival. They wouldn't just wine. And that's the same all carnival is now. Wine, jam, choke. I mean, come on. That's just carnival now. But people want to see more than that. We need to create an academy. So, carnival is not just a walk or your trip down the road. Even the way you move is a dance. It's an art form. Yeah? So, you could find that. I love to see Peter Minshall. Why is he not involved? Why is he not trying to train these people across here? And there's the other guy, I can't remember his name right now too, who was also very good too. He worked in me also too. The next guy, like Peter Minshall too, he's a very good art man. McFarlane. He worked with me already. These are persons who have studied that, and there are other persons who have now learned and studied carnival. Provide them with the opportunity. We need to create a film, theater, fashion, and music industry. Why in Tobago Carnival they're playing Trinidad songs? And there's so much don't like them. But you're praying to... We had to kill our foolishness. Now is the time for Tobago Carnival. You're supposed to hear Tobago songs. The man who win the... Nom. Which truck he was singing on Carnival Day? He was on the truck back singing? Huh? You know what I mean? Do we promote our artists? It was any billboard featuring Nom? Huh? What's that? Huh? Right, but was the song played frequently enough? Where's our road march? You know? So we need to rethink the way we do our carnival. We can't operate as children in a boardroom, twirling our thumbs, looking at each other and say, I love this chair. You see me? This chair swinging around. We don't want that children in a boardroom are idle because they have no place inside there. We need to operate, we need to own the Tobago space. Own it, take control of it, and make something out of it. We need to create that film theater, fashion and music academy. We need to start building that heritage village with acres of land. And part of that also, I have had discussions with persons who have money, who wanted to do something like that. Part of it was to go to every Caribbean country and sell them a street. Because we're talking about one street, you know? So you have Guyana, you have Barbados, Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Antigua. You know what I mean? Go all the way up. So when you sell them a street, they have an interest because Tobago is a non-confrontational place. Persons could find that they have some piece of real estate by you. And ever so often, you create a kind of mixed culture. And I got that from when I say I would have visited Dubai. Yeah? They have a special place located. When every year they have this festival, right? This trade show every year. And there are places that belong to China, where China build a permanent building, Russia build a permanent building, Turkey build a permanent building, and there are other folks that rent a building. If we want to do carnival, we have to do something different. The wine, choke, 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 choke. I can't jump, 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 jump. That can't make sense. Enough people doing that. It just does not make sense. We don't want another one like that. You know? We don't want another one like that. It just doesn't make sense. It's not economical. But if we're doing something, let's try and harmonize the carnival from all around the people and learn from the best and brightest and have real art form, real parade of bands. And we must get people involved. Again, if carnival doesn't attract tourists, and I mean real tourists, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Let's have a blocko and call it a day. You know what I mean? Give people money, they'll have a blocko and call out George. But if you're going to have carnival, you must have tourists. And no fake tourists. Saying we have 60,000 tourists coming last year, that came last year, when you have 2,000 rooms stock, where they staying? Yeah? And you will hear the figures just now they'll come up with. How much thousands of people come on the island? No. The biggest performance was Juve, and those were Tobago people. Understand? The biggest performance was Juve. And those were Tobago people that came out, young people that came out, because it's easy to go to Juve and walk down the place. It's like a t-shirt, it's cheap. And it's a lime. But how much Tobagans could afford costumes for 2,000, 5,000, 3,000, 4,000? How much Tobagans could afford that? So we have to start to have our local mass men subsidized, give them money subsidized, help them to come up with something unique to Tobago, design that, and let's create a carnival that's different. But more than that, let's create a carnival village within the heritage village so that this can be sustainable. If it's not sustainable, then it's not worth the money pumped into it. I want to take a few questions.
So what do you see good that occurred? You're only talking about the bad.
No, I said it's boss or bus.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
But the good is that,
Are you saying it bus?
well, I'm saying there's a room for improvement. The carnival of itself was an opportunity for Tobagonians to display culture, art form, our own music, our tradition. But we heard more Trinidad music in it than Tobago music. We saw more Trinidad mass in it than Tobago mass, right? And I'm saying we have failed to seize the opportunity to promote our culture. And this is constructive criticism. You observe, I'm not calling anybody name and said this or that. I'm not even getting into that. Because really and truly, this is above their mental capacity, right? Something like this requires serious thinking, yeah? This is a game changer. Carnival is a game changer for Brazil. Mm-hmm. Carnival is a game changer for certain parts of the world. So they take that seriously. It allows people to come in and see the culture.
With the thousands through the streets, were you impressed in any way? Especially for Juve and coming down the Claude Noel Highway through Wilson Road and stuff.
I saw it through the live various feeds from various media houses, and I thought it was quite instructive that Tobagonians are still together and are still supporting, right, the local culture. But at the end of the day, people want an experience that is mind-blowing. They don't want to just be walking down the road and they see their friends alignment. Better have a blocko. You understand? Give every village $1 million to have a blocko. You might be better. You have bigger crowds. But do not take the money. So you're keeping carnival, and there's nothing good that comes out of it that we can boast about. And I'm saying this carnival, there's nothing good coming out of this carnival that we can boast about. There's nothing good. But just carnival.
So you are saying Mr. Gypsy is correct?
I'm not saying Mr. Gypsy is correct at all. I'm saying he made a great point. Right? And you cannot have Tobago Carnival without Trinidad. Trinidad is among the best carnival in the entire world. Why? Because Trinidad has history. Trinidad has history as no other place in this world. Not even Brazil has history as Trinidad. Because Trinidad is steel band. Trinidad has soca. Understand? That is their art form. So Brazil had a salsa and a different thing used for the carnival, right? But we have created our own music to support our industry in Trinidad. And that music has affected all of the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the first world nations in Europe and otherwise. So if you're talking carnival, you have to make them an integral part. When you come in the parade of the bands, they are the ones that are now creating these beautiful mass bands that symbolize different things. I don't know, yeah. Who was the king and queen? We are king and queen here for carnival? So no king and queen competition. So there's a street parade. Put on where you want and come and jump up. We have to not spend money behind that which does not make sense. Tobago is a place where money hard to come by, but seems as though it's easy to spend. Again, let me repeat that. Tobago is a place where money hard to come by. After the budget, everybody turning up their nose. We want more money. We want more money. For what? For what? What we want more money for? As we get the money, we're wasting the money. We're wasting the money. And we cannot waste the money if we need it. Every dollar we send must have a return on it. That's how businesses think. What is the return on Carnival? What is the economic impact? That should have been forecast from January. And therefore, the money spent in a particular tailor-made kind of way. You know what I'm saying to you? You're supposed to know what type of tourists you want to bring here, where they're going to stay. Carnival, every big event that comes to Tobago, supposed to find Tobago with more rooms added to the rooms already available. Because Tobago ought to be growing. It is people who want to just love fete. There's a fete culture in Trinidad and Tobago, you know. Remember when Lee Kuan Yew came here? He said if the people in Trinidad and Tobago was able to convert that fete mentality into production, we'll have the greatest country. Because when coming to fete, they're passionate about the fete. It's a fete culture. If we were to give that same dedication to something productive, we will be far advanced. So don't get tired with the people crowd just coming to Tobago here. They love fete. So they're coming. Regardless of what, they're coming. Have fete here. But more than that, what is the economic spin-off? Is it sustainable? The woman who does sell fudge and sugar cake and red mango and come down to sell that, she might get 500 sales this time. What happened for the rest of the month? Shall we wait for next year again? How could she build the economy on that one-off thing? Let's create an environment where our small traders, small businessmen could occupy booths and sell and keep that thing going for the entire year. A thing like Boko Go Trace. A beautiful thing has been built down there. What becomes of it after Easter? It's shut down. Shut down. It is not used. And I've said time and time again to my colleagues, that should be used at least twice a month. We're supposed to have goat race twice a month. Let men breed goat to run. And let men place little bets on it. You could even involve NLCB. Yeah? And make it something that people could now have a choice goat. And that goat could win a race. That will bring people now to even look at our goat race and even bet internationally from outside and say, no, I'm betting on this goat. We have to do that. We have a big facility put down and they want to go and build something for Blue Food Festival to put down again. We have Shore Park put down. We have all about the place put down. We have Pembroke up with the Heritage Village built up and put down. So where are we really going? What are we really doing? Is there a plan to create a sustainable economy from our culture? Cultural development is very important for any country and it brings in a lot of money. Thank you. Any further questions?
Are you suggesting then, just to confirm, that the TH should do away with the October Carnival?
No. I'm simply saying that they have to rethink it. They may even have to move it out of October. Thank God you have allowed climate change to affect us positively. And this is the effects of climate change we're seeing right now. Now feel like August, trust me. Now feel like August. This is climate change. We do not know how climate change may affect us next year. But we seem to be enjoying the sun. And we say, oh, it's hot, but even Tiantek saying the REITs looking nice. People using more air condition now. But this is the effects of climate change. This is why we need to have a heritage village that regardless of the weather, it is properly covered, could house X amount of people, and the show could go on. Proper car park, etc. We need to look at that if we're going to have this as an important show. Yeah. Right, so the heritage village has to be built in an area where people have ease of access. So it has to be either in Scarborough region, I would say, or it will be in Roxborough region. Because these are towns. It's like an opera house. You have to make these places the scene of activity. But the noise must be contained. So it's soundproof and all that. When inside, you're inside. You know, it's not affecting anybody outside. And they have proper car park and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to carry something out of the town in the bush. That's a turn off from people too. So when they come to town, everybody Miss Parker and all them people so getting sealed, everybody getting sealed. So I'm gonna go buy a piece of cloth, I'm gonna go buy something, you know? You have to do that.
Anyway, particularly, you can identify the space now. Today, they want to say, Mr. Jimmy, want to hear from you today.
Well, Scarborough. When I was looking at it, I was looking at it with a developer. We're having serious conversations about building the village. We were looking at right around the stadium around there, where we will use that parade ground as a car park also. So have the stadium there, and they'll buy up some lands across there. From pre-private sector, you buy the lands, or from Mount Pleasant Credit Union, you buy the lands, and you put it up in a nice area like that. You know, you develop it properly.
I know you kept stressing you want a more Tobago centric carnival, not the wine and jam. But you mentioned too, we can't have Tobago's carnival without Trinidad's involvement. What extent you're looking at to have Trinidad involved in pushing a Tobago centric carnival?
Well, I think Trinidad should be fully involved, 100% involved. There's no half stepping with that. They are the mecca of carnival. Give Jackie Jacket and Jimmy Jim boots. They are the mecca of carnival. It's a tragedy to think that we can do it alone. Only fools do that. All right? The wise man will collaborate and create greater strength and greater excellence. So Tobago Carnival should have a Tobago mandate. If they are coming here to do it our way. Like when we go to Trinidad, we have to compete their way, you know. So our show in Winchester and them, he had to sing like them boys down there, you know. And dance like them boys down there, you know. Understand? Because that's the culture. He can come and sing some calypso as if, Tam Tam. Tam Tam in name is?
Nom nom.
Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. Yes, Nom Nom. Our great calypso in here. Soca monarchy, right? Would find it difficult to even make a 4th place or 5th place in Trinidad. But we come on the first 10. Because the culture is different. The point I'm making here, you must style the thing to your culture. So if in Tobago this is our culture and the Trinidadians come, they must now sing to our culture. And so it's a greater appreciation, a greater fusion of cultures to make Tobago a better cultural ambassador within the Caribbean. And this is why I should really be leading the THA. This is why I should really be leading the THA, because you cannot have these ideas, right? And these ideas are not being placed in a forward-thinking way. No, I'm not reaching out to anyone. I'm not doing that. Right? They have the book. They have the mandate. Remember, they have the mandate. Yeah? Remember, all these things we're talking about is in a mandate. This is not new ideas. We sat down and we draft up these plans for a better Tobago. The people that went to vote on August 6, 2021 voted for that mandate. But they are getting something different. And this is worrisome. It makes you somewhat...
They are not under the PDP anymore, Mr. Duke. They are under the TPP.
Liz, let me just give you notice, Liz. All right. You are a great journalist. You are an investigative journalist too. You are fully aware that the TPP is not a party. It is not registered. It is nothing. Right? It is not a party. And so it is all games, smoke and mirror games. You cannot have a launch of a party that is not registered. That is fraudulent. Do you know what I mean? You can sell jerseys, put up symbols, put up colors, and getting people to want to invest, signing up to something that doesn't exist. That is fraudulent. So I'm saying to you, leave TPP or what you're going to call it by itself. That's not part of my conversation. They are not a party. So by and large, they are still under the umbrella of the PDP. But what they have done, they have become dissidents. They have become dissidents, meaning that they have become like children who disown their parents. Understand? Because they want to do their own thing. That would have come as. But I am not taking them on. Because the parent must only be the parent, as my chairman said. We're the only adult in the room. So we have to control ourselves from this perspective and remind Tobago of what should have been, not what is now.
I guess to switch the conversation a little bit, but we had a passing of Mr. Carlos still on recently. I want to know if you have any words in mind of his passing.
Yes, I will say Mr. Carlos Dillon is a champion for the tourism sector. He's a champion for Tobago-ness, so to speak. He's a proud Tobagonian. He was a forward-thinking Tobagonian. And my last interaction with him is when he would have completed a beautiful structure, right? And I think that he just didn't speak or spoke about developing Tobago. He actually went out of his way to invest his money, his brain, etc., to develop Tobago. And such is the type of people that Tobago will always be proud of. People who put their money where their mouth is, who back up their words with their action. Carlos Dillon was such a man. It's unfortunate that he had to die around this carnival time. You know, maybe when you look at the foolishness, he broke his heart. Forgive me for saying that. You know what I mean? But you're laughing, you know, but that's, he broke his heart. It's a lot of foolishness, you know. It's a lot of foolishness, you know what I mean? It's worrisome.
I've witnessed the growth of Notting Hill Carnival, Labor Day,
Yeah.
Miami Day, Caribana.
Yeah.
A lot of these
Even Jamaica Carnival had to grow to because it started from nothing.
they began.
Yeah.
Faced a lot of opposition.
Yeah.
Tobago Carnival is the newest in the world. It's 2 years old. Why the intense criticism for something that just began?
Well, you asked the right question, but you asked it's from a wrong angle with certain, I would say, untruths. There's nothing new about Tobago Carnival. There's nothing new about Tobago Carnival. I believe you're Tobagonian, born and bred. And if you're born in the same space that I was born and bred, you will know that Tobago has always held themselves different from Trinidad. Our history is different. And when we played mass, it was always different. At one time, we would chide and mock at Trinidad. You know what I mean? The way they play the mass and the skimpy dressing. And we would have our parade differently. Yeah? So don't come and say, no, it's not no new carnival. This is what you call an additional frolic day. This is an additional day to frolic. If you want to create a new carnival, then have to do something totally different. So we are not new. We have had many years of practice to come and do this foolishness. No. There is no apology for that. And I know you're not apologizing for them, but you want to see how I could answer difficult questions. And I'm sure you know I answered that question well. Tobago Carnival is not new. Absolutely not new. It is as old as Trinidad Carnival, and we have had the benefit of observing Trinidad, even participating in Trinidad. The head of Tuco, that Tobagonian, you know. The head of the panting is a Tobagonian, you know. Right? We are all over the place. So don't make it look as if Tobagonians are bereft of knowledge and this experience. We are leading the thing down there. So, no, there's no excuse. There's none.
But what about the time needed to transition from maybe what the carnival was or used to be into something totally or completely different?
Well, there's clearly no transition taking place. What we have seen, this is a regression. It's a regression. You know what I mean? I don't know a caterpillar goes into a cocoon to become a worm, a smaller worm. I don't know a tadpole goes into this metamorphosis stage, this transition thing to come back an egg. I don't know that. People always go into a transition phase to come out better, and this cannot become better unless there's critical thinking and criticism. Criticism is necessary at this stage. We're talking millions of dollars we don't have, we're spending. How do we account for that? Do we say, well, they're trying out? Now we're in trying out stage. With what going on in this economy here, with what going on here, now is not trying out stage. Now it's stage to do like Nike. Just do it.
I've seen some of the Caribbean islands move from celebrating the carnival when it used to clash with Trinidad, but different time of the year. And by doing that, many of them have actually improved upon the product. So isn't that now an opportunity for Tobago to move in that direction?
No.
Maybe 2 years.
No. Tobago and Trinidad, we are one. Yeah? What Tobago should try to do is to create its Tobago-ness or to showcase its Tobago-ness during the carnival season. So as we have Trinidad and Tobago Carnival, people must be able to see a difference in the carnival still. That's what's supposed to happen. If the central government is giving money for that carnival, right? Why spend the money twice? Why not create something else? You know what I'm saying to you? Sometimes trying to stand out makes you stand out, but as a fool. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's better to go with the crowd. In this case, it would be better for Tobago to go with the Tobago and Trinidad Carnival, but have it distinct, have it different, have it more Tobago-centric, have the culture be born out more visibly and audibly. Yeah? Have the culture be born out. You could only get them kind of thing from PDP, you know. These thoughts are too big for some of my colleagues. They can't grapple with it. I'm telling you that.
How long should we be wrestling with two carnivals?
Maybe until election comes again next year. You know? Then we will not be grappling with two carnivals. We'll have one carnival that makes a whole lot of sense.
Which one do you think would make more sense, October or in the earlier of the year?
I'm saying one. I'm not saying we should have the same time with Trinidad, because there are persons in Trinidad that may want to come to Tobago and persons in Tobago want to go to Trinidad. If our mass men could make mass in Trinidad and get plenty sell down, that's good. It's a market for business, right? And if Trinidad mass men could make mass in Tobago and sell up here, it's business. So why try to compete? I think that just one carnival is needed. We don't need two. We just don't need two carnival in Trinidad and Tobago. Two islands celebrating carnival. Yeah? Could be on the same day or different days, but two carnival. One per island is good. One per island. Am I making sense, sir? Thank you. Any further questions? Again, I'm saying the PDP is ready to lead. The PDP is ready to take the reins of power and lead Tobago out of darkness. I continue to hold myself as a political leader. We're very much alive and well. In a few months from now, we will unveil some ground-shattering plans for the PDP as we begin to activate the ground again in readiness for carnival. For elections. For elections. All right, we do not campaign on the day. We campaign long before the day. And we are just settled back in, collecting the data, observing things, critiquing things, praising things, indeed. But certainly, we are ready to lead Trinidad and Tobago because we are now a national party. Thank you. Yeah.
So you take off the blonde here.
May I take it off today underneath this?